I guess I'll get criticized again because I consider myself an anomaly on this whole thing. I'm all for, ready for this? I'm all for the grass fields and natural grass and everything like that. And, I don't like turf, but here's a fact. Here's facts. But the city decided over 20 years ago, when they decided to consolidate the parks department and the rec department all into one, that was a personnel reduction move. And part of that was maintenance of fields. Now, I coached and I was a participant for years on those fields and the local fields all around, and coached elite age players. Those fields were supreme fields, so to speak, when I was participating on them and coaching on them. And when that decision was made to eliminate full maintenance of those fields started going downhill. And I was one person that screamed about it because they became dangerous as you don't maintain them. But the cost to do that, it was a business decision on the city. The cost to do that was far too expensive, and they made a decision not to do it. And then the turf fields have been talked about for years and part of the master plan. Although I would love to see the fields all around the community, at all the parks, the baseball diamonds, softball diamonds, all around Lake Forest, redone naturally and maintained naturally. That horse left the barn years ago, and the master plan was dictating that going to have turf fields, and this was the decision. And again, on top of it, those fields got so bad that it was tough. With rain and all that, and you're not maintaining them, it's just a recipe for disaster. It impacted teams that were coming in or not coming in. We used to have a great softball program in town, huge softball program in town. People stopped playing because of the field, period. Too dangerous, and no teams wanted to come in. It was a self-fulfilling way that's unfortunately the women's and men's softball program, adult and kid, just went downhill because of that. These fields, this is not a revelation, maybe to some, that the turf is moving forward with turf, and we should, because it is a maintenance issue. Big time. I mean, you're not going to have to maintain it and put people on there maintaining it every single time. You could do grass again, which would be phenomenal. Huge cost. Every time it rained, you're redoing the fields, maintaining the fields, cutting the fields, reseeding the fields, fertilizing the fields. That all costs money, and that was determined. A business decision was determined. Those costs far outweigh putting turf down. So I totally agree with all the stuff that people are screaming about, and I won't use my screaming voice, but
could you please?
I agree, but with the ecological points on turf fields. However, we can't do the grass side. Let's move forward and love each other. But seriously, I mean, there's a lot of valid points for the turf field, but we're not going to address.
All right.
The city of Lake Forest is not going to address what's going to happen 100 years from now with turf fields. I mean, that's not fun. I agree with it, but you know what? The grass side of that, it's not going to happen. It's just the business decision is made years ago, and it continued to stay that way. So let's move on.